I'm Pastor Jay. You know, I'm a big movie buff, and I like watching movies. A movie, I always see what the movie's about, like Star Wars or Lord of the Rings or something like that. You know, I grew up in front of a TV. I'm that generation, and I always see the good and evil of it. You know, Star Wars, you have the bad guy and the good guy. Lord of the Rings, you have the bad people and the good people, and you see how they congregate around each other. You know, it's funny how evil congregates around itself, good congregates around good. And that's the way it should be. I mean, that's the way it's always been. In my life, I've always seen it, even been in high school. You always seen certain people were around certain people. But then I see this new age and this new time coming. And this kind of shocks me how people don't even notice stuff like that. You know, like how now in movies, the bad guys that were bad guys in our generation, they're the good guys now. How is that? They were killing people, hurting people. Now they're the good guys. You know, the thing I see is I was talking to a friend one day, and he was like, I said something about downtown. I said, downtown is just so rough now. It don't even look the same as when we grew up. And he was like, I don't see nothing wrong with it. I said, what do you mean you don't see nothing wrong with it? There used to be stores there. Now they're boarded up. There's drug deals happening on the corner. And he said, I don't see nothing wrong with it. And that's really, really blew my mind, is how people perceive evil now. How people perceive good. When people are trying to do good for you, people are just hateful. And I take it as this. This is that time in our life and in God's timeline, that there is going to be people who think evil is good and good is evil. They're not going to see the difference. Can't see things when bad things are happening around them. They see it as normal. Just like us when I grew up, you know, adultery was a bad thing. But then at a certain time in my generation, it was a good thing. You know, people sleeping with each other, it didn't matter. You know, even when God says don't do it, people said, well, it ain't hurting nothing. But just like with that boarded up downtown, it is hurting. It hurts people in a lot of ways. Families. So like what I'm trying to say here is that we got to get back to God. Get back to moving forward, doing what God said is good, not what this world said is good.